everyone, and welcome back to my shop. Today we're going to take the old Chevy truck out, run a few errands, take a nice relaxing cruise. So stay tuned and ride along with me. I don't need to check the oil, I just did it the other day and we're good to go. There's no spots underneath it. So let's give it 2 pumps, see if it'll start right up for us. That was 2. That was a load of work. We're overcast some, but if we get caught out, that's fine. We got working wipers. All right. Better make it to a gas station real fast. All right, we've got the errand done. Now I'm going to wash this thing a little bit. So anyway, all right, heading down the road. Y'all doing all right? Carry on. got a clean truck, and I don't think it's any faster. But it looks better anyway. It's let me see, it's probably in the low 80s, overcast. Supposed to get some more rain sometime today. That's all right. I got working wipers. If I get caught out in it, oh well, that's what happens. But so far she's running real good. Now I've gone about I guess about 5 miles, and it's still showing charge. So I let it sit a little too long this time, I believe. He's doing good so far, knock on wood. How y'all doing? Good, I hope. Let's watch a little bit what we got going on right here. Going round the mountain when it comes. If y'all followed me, any of my old videos, you know this is one of my main cruises, and this is around House Mountain. It's a real scenic cruise, and hardly any traffic, and it's just real nice. Nice, easy cruise. There's a shot of the Vitals. And there's a shot of House Mountain. I had to put some air in the front left tire. It was down. I like to run 35 PSI in the tires. That way the steering's real easy, but it's not so hard on the tires that a bump will jar your teeth out. So and these old trucks, part of your cushioning comes from your tires. So and you know, keep in mind with the bias plies, they had a lot softer sidewall. So they had a whole lot more give. But anyway, so 35, that works real good. 35 PSI. ain't swinging them corners like I think I'm in the vet. Some of y'all might be thinking the way I've been carrying on about the performance tune I did to the Corvette, that I should do it to this. Well, I'm thinking about it. Now, this being a six-banger, the numbers will be different, and it's like you won't set to 36 degrees max mechanical advance on this. I believe it'll be more like 30 to 32, but that's research I'm doing. But I've got to admit, I have got a lot of time and effort and research into how I've got this setting now. You know, this truck will run smooth at 30 mile an hour, and it'll run smooth at 80. So, and all in between. And you know, it's just not geared to be a high performance truck anyway. This still has the stock 3 on the tree, torque tube drive shaft, and 411 rear gears. So it's not really even set up to run on a highway, but it does 55 and 60 fine. Above 60 is pretty, it's really spinning. And I don't like to hold it there that long, because basically it's not designed to be running that fast anyway. It's you know, 3,000 RPM is where it makes its maximum. Hey pup, stay right there, good boy or girl. It makes its maximum power, its horsepower, at around 3,000 RPM. And even though with this cam it does continue to build up all the way to 4,000, so really, it builds up and runs strong all the way up to 4,000 RPM before it tapers off. But I don't normally run it that far or that high because, well, the drivetrain just isn't geared for that. But if I was to go to a, let's say, a 5-speed, change out the rear gears to like a 355, interstate running wouldn't be out of the question. I could go to 355 without even swapping out the torque tube. It's just a gear change. So that's a thought. But, you know, that's kind of why I got the vet. If I want to get out there and run interstates and run fast, well, I've got a toy that'll do it. If I want to get out here and I want to cruise and enjoy the scenery and enjoy driving a vehicle from 1949, well, I've got it right here. So, I don't know. Some of you all I know really want to get the most performance you can out of one of these old trucks. And there's all kinds of ways to do it. If you all follow, those of you that has followed me for a while, you know I had a 49 GMC half-ton pickup that I traded for, that had a blown, somebody had upgraded it to a later model 250 6-cylinder, but it was blown, but it had a turbo hydromatic 350, had a Nova rear end, and a modern open drive shaft. So I went out and sourced a 300 horsepower 350 engine, 69 model, in real good shape, and dropped it in there. And of course it was lowered, and ran that for a long time, and it was fun. I'll admit it was fun, but when it came down to brass tacks, I enjoyed driving this old Chevy more than I did that GMC. So much so that I sold the GMC. I figured if I'm wanting something that'll run around fast, I'll get something that's designed to do it. So anyway, long story short is I wanted an upgraded power plant for this truck because I had wore that 216 out. The 216 that originally came in this truck was worn out anyway, and I put another 20,000 miles on it before it was to the point where if I wanted to save it to be able to rebuild it, I better pull it. So instead of rebuilding it or getting another 216, I opted to go to a full oil pressure 235. I looked for a 261 also. Couldn't find the 261 in the price range I was willing to spend, because those that has them 261s appear to be very, very proud of them. So I got this 235. It needed rebuilt though. It too was worn out. So I rebuilt it, hopped it up a little bit, and I'm very happy with it. Now it's a 54 engine. Again, a lot of you all know that follow me know this story, so I'll try to be brief. Maybe some folks that are tuning in for the first time, but this is going to be somewhat of a review for those of you all that have followed me, but there may be some new folks that don't know some of the history of this truck, so I'll lay it on you here, and I'll make it as brief as possible. Of course, this is a 49 half-ton pickup. The model designation is 3100. I believe the paperwork calls it a 3104, but it's a half-ton pickup that originally came with a 216 engine, single barrel, single exhaust. This had about 99,000 miles on it when I got it, and I rebuilt the head and I put another 20,000 miles on it, and it was to the point where every seal and gasket that it had was leaking, and that if I was going to rebuild it, I better think about pulling it now. So I went out looking for either a 235 or a 261. I wanted to stay in the stove bolt engine vintage because that's the easiest swap you can do on one of these if you're going to retain your same drivetrain, which is what I was wanting to do. So I couldn't find a 261 at the price range I wanted. They were very proud of them. So I ended up getting a 235 that needed rebuild, which is fine because I had the time and inclination to rebuild it and put a little bit of performance tricks to it to see if I can get a little bit more out of it than what it would come factory. But anyway, so I rebuilt it, put a 3/4 race cam in it, broke it in with a single carburetor, the Rochester that came with it, and then I decided that I wasn't getting, with the dual exhaust and the hot cam, I wasn't getting enough fuel through it. I wasn't getting the performance out of it I wanted, so I tried dual Rochesters. I couldn't get them to work right because they were different versions. And if you do a dual carburetor, you want the exact same version. If you do 3 carburetors, you want the exact same version also. Well, these two were not, and it just caused all kinds of problems. So I've researched and purchased a pair of progressive 2-barrel Carter River carburetors, and I'm very, very happy with them. They, some will say it's over carbureted. I don't agree. I average around 14, 15 miles per gallon. This last fill up I did not get that because I did a whole lot of idling, just sitting there in
gunning it, just so I could keep it, keep it running while it was sitting in storage. So anyway, where was I? Well, so my mile per gallon wasn't that good. Anytime you do a lot of idling, it's not going to do good. But anyway, the settings on this is really good. Because of the cam, I like as smooth and idle as possible. So I'm idling at around 600 RPM, 600 to 650, and that's as smooth as I can get it at that lower RPM range. Now, stock a 235 would idle between 450 to 550 RPM, and this has too much of a load at that low RPM. Now, some people like that load, and after I've run this thing pretty hard for a while, it'll load even at 600 some. But to me, I think the bearings, especially the main bearings and rod bearings, will last longer if you're not if you can keep them spinning as smooth as possible. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Make it yours. So anyway, the dual carbs, hot cam, dual exhaust. It's flamethrower 2 electronic ignition and flamethrower distributor with a high voltage coil, and this thing is running pretty good. And so I kind of hesitate to fix something that ain't broke, that doesn't have a need to be hopped up anymore either. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, just look at the vitals. To 2400 RPM will get you about 50 miles an hour. And it's just burned along. I don't know if I recorded it or not, but in explaining this truck, this still has the stock 3 on the tree, torque tube drive shaft, and 411 rear end. So it's geared for hauling stuff. It's not geared for speed. Although it does 50 no problem. Do a little walk around here. That's a nice little stop. I guess I'm about 20 miles into the cruise. That's her idling. I will make a stop and get some diesel for the Kubota. Got more mowing to do. You see, there's a little bit of a lope there. That's at about 600 RPM. Not looking too bad after that car wash. And that's the interior. Got a couple of my cruising things there. Me a Coke, what's left of a honey bun. Anyway. It's such a beautiful day. We're gonna get back to the cruise. I thought I'd just stop and just a simple little walk around. Here's a nice little quiet little pullover. So let's button it back up and get ready to get back on the road. All right, we're out here on some way back country roads. I'm going to, they're pretty rough, so everything's gonna be bouncy. But some of you all have some real good sound systems. I'm gonna go ahead and let this thing cruise a little bit. See if y'all can't hear this. All right. Is the farm that this truck, when it was bought new, toiled on until I got it. Battery went dead. We're back on the bad camera here. I don't know if it's focusing like it should or not. Anyway, real bouncy. I forgot how bouncy this old truck was. You know, it actually rides smoother when it has about 400 to 500 pounds of weight in the back. Anyway. You all are enjoying the cruise. So far the rain has held off. Expect it's going to hit soon. Give another look at the vitals here and go from there. Hope y'all enjoyed that little cruise. I certainly did. It's always good to get this whole thing back out on the road. Just goes to remind me that this is very relaxing. This really is a soothing, therapeutical cruise. So anyway, I hope everything's going good with you and yours. Everything's going great here. Can't complain. Won't do me no good to complain anyway. Take care of the business. Carry on. So have a good one. I hope to see you around on the next one.